Wait, Diego talking about The Last of Us again? Man, at this rate, he might even start uploading regularly. All jokes aside, this is not much of a review, it's more of a discussion around Last of Us Season 2, because yes, the second season has finally concluded, and I have a lot of things to say, but I've realized one thing. I've talked about my fair share about The Last of Us. It almost feels exhausting to just kind of keep talking about The Last of Us, specifically not with the second season being not that much well received, especially fans of the second game saying, oh, they made this change, they changed this around, they didn't do this like in the game. Right now I'm stuck with a lot of other shows that kind of want to give my attention a little bit more, so I'm just gonna put this out right now and be like, that's it for me and Last of Us. Unless they do something tremendously stupid, then I'll talk about it. But right now, I'm just kind of exhausted of The Last of Us. I'm just kind of tired of seeing this fucking franchise, if I'm being completely honest. So The Last of Us Season 2, is it any good? Depends. Oh, is it any bad? Depends. I have not felt this way about a show in a while where I was this divided. It almost makes me remember how I felt about The Last of Us Part 2. I wasn't a big fan of the game. Now, did I hate it? No. I didn't hate it like a couple of people on the internet did, but I was definitely not very pleased with how The Last of Us Part 2 ended up. I wasn't a big fan of the story and the pacing. I wasn't a big fan of constantly going back and forth between characters and playing through flashbacks. It made the story very disjointed and not very fun to kind of go through. The characters weren't as enjoyable this time around. The writing wasn't as strong. It was just not a very pleasant experience that, even though I didn't hate, I still didn't necessarily like that much. And I was hopeful that the show was gonna change a lot of that. No, they didn't change anything. In fact, I think they actually made a couple of things worse. Like the pacing. Now, the show has even worse pacing than the game has, because this season only has 7 episodes, which means that they're gonna rush through a lot of things, and oh boy, do they rush through so much shit. They also kind of handle a couple of scenes very poorly, like Joel's death in the show is very poorly handled in the show. In the game, that scene is really brutal, and it has so much weight to it, and in the show, it feels like a slap in the wrist at best. I wasn't a big fan of the casting for Abby in this. I like the actress, I've seen her in other things where she's amazing, but in here, she just doesn't fit this character, and the fact that they removed the one physical attribute of the character that makes her recognizable, her physique, her strong physique, was really infuriating. When she's killing Joel, you might as well replace all the sound effects with like squeaky toy sound effects. And as much as I really enjoy Bella Ramsey as Ellie in the first season, I do feel like they should have recasted them with a different actress in the second season, because there's supposed to be a big time jump between season 1 and season 2, where in season 2, Ellie's supposed to be at least 20 at this point. And the fact that they look exactly the same as they did in the first season, which is like a little girl, it really does kind of ruin a couple of scenes where Ellie's supposed to show more maturity, or show that she is really getting her anger get the best of her. In the game, a lot of characters make a bunch of dumbass decisions, like especially in the game, there are 2 characters that are pregnant, that are out here fighting in a literal war zone, and it's like, what are you doing? This is stupid. And I was hoping that they were gonna either fix this or change it in a way that made sense in the season, but no, they didn't. They kept it exactly the same. Why? Like, this was like the one thing that you could have at least tried to make a little bit more sense, and you didn't. You just kind of left it the same. The writing isn't as strong, but even then, with all these issues, there's still a couple of things that I enjoy. A lot of the performances are still amazing, especially Pedro Pascal. Goddamn, I love this man so much. He is an incredibly talented man. But also some of the newcomers that they brought in here, like Catherine O'Hara plays a great therapist character in the show that I was always thrilled to see her on screen. Also, the actors that they brought in to play Jesse and Dana are actually great. I enjoyed these actors as these characters. The cinematography and directing, like the overall look of the show is still incredible. Visually, the show is still absolutely gorgeous. The score is still incredible. The fact that they still keep a lot of the main score from the actual games in the show is genuinely incredible. And again, the performances, even when the dialogue isn't the strongest, they still bring out their absolute 100% for these scenes. So is season 2 perfect? Absolutely not. And am I excited for season 3? Not necessarily, because I already know what's coming. They obviously show that they're just retelling the story of the second game, which I already have issues with. But it is one of those things where it's like, I'm not really excited because I already know what's coming, and what's coming I already know I don't necessarily enjoy. I'm just not looking forward to it. But I'm still watching it. If I was gonna give this season a rating, it would be a 5 out of 10 at at best. And again, this is not really a review, like a really traditional review. It's more of a discussion on how I felt about this season and how I hope they fix a couple of things next season. But if they didn't fix anything in this season, what hopes do I have that they'll fix anything in the later seasons?
You swore.
But you tell me, what do you think of The Last of Us Season 2? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Or are you just kind of in the middle? Let me know down in the comments. I really want to know what you guys think about it. And like always, good night and stay safe.